Apple has been the crown jewel of the tech world for decades. With its sleek designs, cutting-edge innovation, and a loyal fan base, it built an empire like no other. In 2018, Apple shocked the world by hitting a $1 trillion valuation. Just 2 years later, it doubled that milestone and soared to $2 trillion. It was the richest company on earth, admired and feared by rivals alike. But behind that glittering success, cracks are beginning to show. The question is simple. Could Apple's empire really collapse? If it did, what would it mean for the global economy? Let's start with Apple's biggest strength, and also its biggest weakness: the iPhone. More than half of Apple's revenue comes from this single device. That means billions of dollars depend on people upgrading their phones every year. But global smartphone sales are slowing down. People aren't upgrading as quickly as they used to. Competition from China is growing fiercer every single month. And even Apple's biggest fans are asking, what's really new about the latest iPhone? Now let's talk about China. Apple depends heavily on Chinese factories for production, but rising political tensions threaten that relationship. Trade wars, tariffs, and security concerns could disrupt the supply chain overnight. If Apple's factories shut down even temporarily, billions in revenue could vanish. And moving production elsewhere isn't easy or cheap. That vulnerability makes Apple's empire more fragile than it seems. Then there's regulation. Governments around the world are cracking down on big tech. Antitrust lawsuits are piling up. The European Union has already fined Apple for unfair practices. The United States is watching closely. And if regulators force Apple to change its App Store policies, billions in profit could be at risk. Innovation is another concern. Apple is famous for products that change industries. The iPod, the iPhone. What's next? The Apple Watch was successful, but not revolutionary. The Vision Pro headset has hype, but will it really change the world? Some critics argue Apple is no longer leading, just improving what already exists. And then there's competition. Samsung, Huawei, and Xiaomi are attacking Apple's market share. Google is building its Pixel ecosystem faster than ever. Even Microsoft is regaining ground in productivity and AI. Apple is no longer untouchable. Its rivals are hungrier and more aggressive. Investors are also nervous. Apple's valuation is sky high, but growth is slowing. If the market loses confidence, a massive sell-off could trigger panic. Imagine $1 trillion in value wiped out in just weeks. The ripple effects would shake Wall Street and global markets. Now think about the economy. Apple isn't just a company, it's a pillar of the U.S. stock market. It powers the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. If Apple stumbles, millions of retirement funds and portfolios would feel the hit. A collapse could send shockwaves across the world. But here's the twist. Apple isn't going down without a fight. The company has over $200 billion in cash reserves. It has one of the strongest brands in history. And its loyal fan base will line up for every new launch. That's the safety net that keeps Apple alive. Still, even giants can fall. Just look at Nokia, once the king of phones, now just a shadow. Or BlackBerry. Once untouchable, now almost forgotten. Could Apple be next? The truth is, Apple's future depends on its ability to adapt. If it can innovate beyond the iPhone, it may remain unstoppable. If not, the $2 trillion empire could start crumbling faster than anyone expects. And when a giant like Apple falls, it won't just be a company's problem. It could be the world's problem. So the real question is this: is Apple truly too big to fail? Or are we already watching the beginning of its collapse?